Hello, everybody, and welcome to the New Flame Sports Podcast. It's your host Andrew, along with Dean this week. And there wasn't a whole lot of news, just because the NFL, it's pretty slow. There was a massive news drop today on Sunday, June 6th. Today, June 6th. So, if you haven't seen the videos that we uploaded yesterday from the Yard Goats game, I would recommend go watching them. There's going to be a full recap of the last two innings coming out today. What you're hearing right now is probably going to be released on Monday, so I hope you're ready for that. But let's get into it. The question of the week this time, it's going to segue straight into the NFL news for this week, is how much of a difference will Julio Jones make on the Tennessee Titans? For me, if he stays healthy, the Titans are at least making the divisional round. I know that defense is pretty bad. I know they took a chance with Caleb Farley in the first round in the draft. I know their linebackers are meh. Their D-line is not great. But the secondary is alright. You got Kevin Byard. Like I said, you got Caleb Farley. You got guys like Janoris Jenkins there. So it's not the greatest, but in a division where the best wide receiver is you have the two best wide receivers in that division, I feel like you'd be fine. Because Colts, they have T.Y. Hilton, but he's not as fast as he once was. They have Michael Pittman, who had an okay season last year. Texans, they have Randall Cobb, but Caleb Farley, if he stays healthy, should be able to keep up with not Randall Cobb, but Brandon Cooks. And then the Jags, they have Marvin Jones, who's he's good, but I think he really benefited from being with T.J. Hawkinson and Kenny Golladay, which is surprising to say about the Lions, but here we are. But yeah, I think Julio Jones will make a big difference, because you look at what the Titans did last year. They got first rounded by the Ravens, and honestly, that game, it was just such a bad game for the entire Titans team. But now with Julio Jones, they're at least making the divisional round. I could see them making the AFC Championship game, but I'm not sure if they can get past a team like Kansas City this year, or even Cleveland. So, Tennessee, I think Tennessee will probably end up being the 3 or maybe 4 seed in the AFC, just because that defense is not it's pretty average, if we're being honest. So I think Julio Jones goes for 900 to 1,200 yards, along with A.J. Brown going for another 900 to 1,200 yards, and then you obviously have Derrick Henry, who's also going to have 1,200 yards at running back, if not more. So that offense is going to be a top 3 offense in the league. You have one of the best running backs, the best wide receiver core, and you have a guy at quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, who at one point last year in week 14, he was an MVP candidate, and then that Packers game really messed him up. But yeah, that offense is going to be nasty. You have a top offensive line in the league, so Titans offense is going to be insane, but it's just going to come down to what that defense can do for the Titans this year. So I'm excited to see what this team can do this year. Dean, what are your thoughts on the Tennessee Titans and Julio Jones trade?
So, obviously, the Titans dealt him. They dealt him a second round, a fourth, and a sixth rounder. And I think it's reasonable, especially for a wide receiver who... I don't think he's completely washed up, but he definitely hasn't been playing as good as he did when he was younger. But obviously, the Titans are going to be the team to watch in the AFC, besides Cleveland, I have to put in. But they're going to be the team to watch, because now they have, I think, the indefinite best receiving core, not just in the AFC, but in the entire league. It's going to be interesting to see what I think those two wide receivers can do with each other, because now the Titans just have so many weapons on offense. But I also kind of want to see Julio Jones kind of become a little mentor for A.J. Brown and maybe Khalif Raymond. I think that if he could do that, if he could become a mentor, like, because obviously he's a great, like,
Yeah,
he's still gonna
he's
be,
already a lock for the Hall of Fame in my opinion.
he's a lock for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So if he can teach AJ Brown and their other receivers like what to do, necessarily, I think it's gonna be really scary down in Tennessee.
And just another note on that, Dean. AJ Brown has already had like back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, so then you just add that whole nother level of a partnership with Julio Jones, and like you said, that mentorship of some sort. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense for the Titans to do. And like they only traded a second, fourth, and sixth round pick. No, wait, no, I think they traded a second and fourth, and then they got Julio and a sixth. So I don't think they gave up a sixth. They got a sixth with Julio. So, um, even though a 6-round pick isn't the greatest use, that's still like one extra shot to be for someone to be good, because in the NFL in any sport you cannot be like the greatest player of all time, but you can still, or you can be taken in the later rounds and but still be good. Look at Tom Brady, Richard Sherman, Antonio Brown, all these guys in recent memory, and like that 6th round pick can end up being valuable, but obviously those 2nd and 4th round pick are more valuable, but still. But for a guy like Julio Jones, who if he's healthy and he's playing at a high level like we've seen him do for the past 8 years, that I think that's going to be the key of victory for the Tennessee Titans this year. It's going to be rely on that offense. If the defense gives up, like 25 points a game, that offense should be capable enough of scoring 25 points a game. So I think it's not a matter of not letting your opponent score this year for the Titans. It's going to be just outscore, which like it doesn't make sense, because like that's the goal in anything in sports, is to outscore, except for golf. But it makes sense because like you know what I'm trying to say here. Just instead of trying to limit the amount of points, just score as many as possible and hope that your defense didn't give up.
Yeah, especially because of their defense.
Yeah, that defense is subpar, we could say. So, but yeah, Julio Jones to the Tennessee Titans. And hey, I'm moving to Mississippi, and the closest NFL team is probably the Titans. So, get to watch Julio Jones play every week, so that's exciting. Get to watch one of my favorite teams, honestly. Like, the Titans are probably my second favorite team. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. So, anyway. Other than that, there's been really no news in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think has reported to OTAs, and my prediction of Julio going to the Packers was wrong, obviously. And I said that with such confidence last week, and even last night as we were driving home from the Yo Goats game, I said to everyone in the car, we brought up where we thought he was gonna go, and I said with full certainty that he was gonna go to the Packers, but no, he goes to the Tennessee Titans for a 2nd and 4th round pick for Julio Jones and a 6th round pick from the Atlanta Falcons. So definitely, if you say the Falcons won this trade, I'm not really sure what you're saying, unless that those two picks turn out to be the two goats. There's just no way. Even if Julio Jones only puts in his 700-yard season because he only plays, let's say, 15 games out of 17, or he plays 14 out of 17, even then, 14 games, he should be able to get 900 yards. So, Julio Jones is the Titans, massive news, and if you're a Titans fan, I don't see how you're mad at this, honestly. So, yeah, I think that's really all there is to say about it. All the Titans fans, like all players, AJ Brown, Kevin Byard, super excited to have him there, and and yeah, Tennessee and Titans fans are obviously happy he's there. So I think that's really it for the NFL news. There was only that one piece. Julio Jones to the Tennessee Titans, like I said. So yeah, and I should have done this at the intro, but we're implementing a new system where it's going to be separate things or separate sports broken into separate videos. Because a lot of people are like, a lot of my friends that watch the videos are saying, oh, they're too long, they're whatever. So we're going to start breaking them down into shorter videos. And probably for the remainder, the NHL and NBA are going to be combined, just because I really haven't been watching it. I don't know if Cream and Dean have either. So they're going to be combined. So hope you guys are ready for that. So yeah, the next one I'll be releasing is probably the NBA and NHL one. So be on the lookout for that, and also be out on the lookout for the Yo Goats game recap coming tomorrow. So see you then.